Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
COVID-19 concerns have Minnesota high school sports making seasonal switches. Most notably, Moorhead football and volleyball are moving to the spring.
Valley News Team's Katie Opperly has details on the changes, and here's from a Moorhead senior about the future of his season.
Forget fall football and volleyball in Minnesota this year. The two sports, the coaches, athletes, and fans will get going in March.
We were just really bummed and sad about the news because we were really looking forward to playing this fall, and we've been working really hard for the last few months.
Fall, for us it's always meant football. We were hopeful, but once the decision's made, I'm glad that at least we have a spring season because these kids have been working so hard for so many years.
This being Jack's last chance to play for the Spuds, the family is just hoping for smooth sailing.
We know what March and April can look like around here. They've played in snow before because of October, and sometimes going into November. So we're just praying it'll be a dry winter.
This is just one of the many hurdles that schools will have to overcome as they balance the changes.
By moving, there's a significant impact on a whole bunch of other activities and things that are going on. So I hope over the next few weeks and months that we can really take a look at what that spring is going to look like.
Cross country, swimming and diving, soccer, and girls tennis will be competing soon, starting August 17th, and their seasons will look different.
The seasons that are going to compete in the fall, there are some restrictions on schedules.
They will be limited on the number of competitions and teams that can attend per contest. So schools are working out new schedules. There's a lot that coaches and their athletes will have to do in the coming weeks and months.
Everybody understands that this isn't perfect, and the Minnesota State High School League is doing the best that they can with the resources they have, and we need to be patient and we need to be flexible.
Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Some things are still up in the air. Some spring sports may be moved at a later time, and no decisions were made regarding winter sports.
Fargo Public Schools is shifting its focus to families of special education students and those with individualized education programs, sending out a reentry survey and webinar to parents for the upcoming school year. One parent says it all left her with more questions than answers regarding this fall and her two children. She says her third grade son struggled with virtual learning last spring and says she hopes IEP children get more leniency when it comes to working in person.
My biggest fear is that if my son and my daughter, if they go distance learning and they don't maybe get the one-on-one help, that they're just going to go backwards again.
The school board will discuss and vote on the district's fall plan at its meeting next Monday. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum said today if the state wants to hit 8,000 COVID-19 tests a day, they're going to need some help. Burgum says the state will be relying on universities to help filling the testing gap, but those deals are not in place yet. The state has no commercial labs to rely on, but has been working with a lab in North Carolina for months now.
We need quantity and quality, and by quality I mean high accuracy and fast turnaround and notification, because if somebody takes a test and it's 5 or 6 days before they find out, either they've missed a week of work for nothing because they were isolating, or they say I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing until I find out my result, and they may be an asymptomatic spreader.
Universities in North Dakota are requesting that students be tested before arriving back on campus, but there's no requirement to do so.
We have updated data for COVID-19 numbers. In North Dakota, 149 new cases have been confirmed. The daily positivity rate is 3%. In Minnesota, 606 new cases have been confirmed. For a full breakdown of the numbers, you can log on to our website, valleynewslive.com.
A Moorhead man is dead following a rollover crash on Highway 10 in Otter Tail County around 4 this afternoon. The Minnesota State Patrol says a BMW 328 was traveling eastbound when it lost control near Broadway Road. The car entered the center median and rolled multiple times before coming to rest on the right shoulder of the westbound Highway 10. Another person in the car was injured. Both occupants were 21 years old and both were male. No names were released. North Dakota Attorney General Wayne Stenhjem is joining more than 30 attorneys general in asking the Department of Human Services to bring down the cost of remdesivir. The group says the drug is showing promise. Still, the drug will cost between $2,300 and $3,200 per treatment. The attorneys general want the National Institutes of Health as well as the FDA to step in under the Defense Production Act and make more, and also make the drug more affordable.
A volleyball coach is apologizing for his behavior but denying accusations made by two teenage girls of inappropriate behavior. The Bureau of Criminal Investigations is looking into allegations against Brian Christensen. He was fired on June 10th as an assistant volleyball coach by Oaks Public Schools. An 18-year-old former student reported that Christensen would slap her butt during volleyball practice. Recently, she says he invited her out to his barn one late Sunday night where he began rubbing her arms, torso, face, and shoulder, and then kissed her on the forehead. A 17-year-old girl also came forward saying Christensen invited her into his office to ask about her sex life. A group of voters is suing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and other officials over a voting requirement. The lawsuit is against the requirement about voters wearing face masks at polling places to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. Members of the Minnesota Voters Alliance, backed by Republican lawmakers, argue the mask mandate is conflicting with a 1963 state law making it a misdemeanor for someone to conceal their identity with a mask. The group is seeking a federal court order to block the rule for people who vote in person in next Tuesday's primary.
Governor Walz is postponing this year's 10th annual Minnesota Governor's Pheasant Opener due to the coronavirus pandemic. The event would be held next year, October 8th and 9th, in the same location, Fairmont, Minnesota. And the governor said he still plans to participate in pheasant hunting. It's his favorite pastime. He's encouraging other Minnesota pheasant hunters to do the same when the season opens October 10th.
U.S. Senator John Hoeven joined President Donald Trump at the White House for the signing of the Great American Outdoors Act. Hoeven co-sponsored the bill to address deferred maintenance needs at all National Park Service facilities. Senator Hoeven said in part that it's not only important for the preservation of our history and landscapes, but it will also strengthen our parks' contributions to local economies across the country, just as the Theodore Roosevelt National Park does in North Dakota.
A North Dakota native and Army veteran will be pedaling from the Montana border to Fargo this weekend. He says he's doing so to spread awareness and raise money for a local group called Patriot Assistance Dogs in Detroit Lakes. This organization gives highly trained, certified psychiatric service dogs to qualified U.S. military veterans at no cost. The cycler is hoping his efforts will generate $50,000.
I was thinking, well, what can I do? Because I want to serve more. I want to serve something bigger than myself. I talked with Ray. I've got to know Ray over the years, and I saw just how much his dog has helped him.
Nathan says everyone is invited to ride along with him on Friday. To learn more about the route, or if you'd like to donate, you can find the GoFundMe on our Valley News Live app.